while getting my car washed. The shop owner handed me a pack of cigarettes. I told him I'd quit smoking. "Thanks anyway," he said. "Found these under your seat." I froze. I never let anyone borrow my car. Wait. Except last week when I was out of town. My wife Ivy had been driving it. The pack was Honglican, a mid-tier brand none of my friends would touch. I sniffed one, still fresh. Less than a week old. The timeline matched my business trip. My gut twisted. Had another man driven my car while I was away? I immediately chastised myself for overreacting. So what if someone else drove? Ivy's terrible at parking. Maybe she asked a coworker for help. Safer that way. That evening after dinner, I teased her, "Ivy, you've been letting strange men drive my car behind my back." She was changing clothes and whipped around to stare at me. I tossed the cigarette pack on the dresser. "Car wash guy found these." "Which coworker was it?" "Oh, that's manager Lou from work. You've met him." I needed help parking. She hastily stuffed the pack into her purse before heading out for her nightly jog. From our balcony, I watched her retreating figure. Something felt off. I'd met manager Lou. He smoked premium black Honglican. Not this cheaper stuff. These nuances escape non-smokers like Ivy. The dashcam footage should settle this. But when I checked, the memory card had no data from my absence. Only someone manually removing the card could cause that gap. Ivy had gone out of her way to erase those days. Ruling out legitimate borrowing, her family has their own cars. Only one conclusion remained. She didn't want me hearing conversations from that period. Time to identify the mystery driver. If another man frequently drove Ivy home from work, our apartment's security cameras would show it. I bought premium cigarettes, breaking my year-long quit, and visited the property management office. Jason, the night guard I knew from hometown, jumped when I entered. "Caught you slacking off," I joked, handing him a cigarette. "Need a favor? Insurance wants footage showing when my bumper got scratched." Sliding him a $100 bill, I added, "Just need something to satisfy the paperwork." Jason pulled up the records. Each evening around 6:10 p.m., my car entered the complex. The distant camera shots showed a man driving with Ivy in the passenger seat, arriving 20 minutes later than usual. The man's hand rested on her thigh across the console. My vision tunneled. The time-stamped evidence confirmed my worst fears. Though I could have checked our building's cameras for clearer footage, I suddenly didn't want visual proof of what came next. First, there's the saying that people need face and trees need bark. Right now, Jason still thinks that person was me. I didn't want the whole neighborhood knowing my wife had issues. Second, the clothes this man wore. I vaguely felt like I'd seen them somewhere before. After smoking nearly half a pack downstairs, I still couldn't decide. What exactly was their situation? To put it bluntly, how far had things gone? After all, we'd been married, even if we split eventually. Whether it ended gracefully was another matter entirely. Looking up at the balcony, I wondered how much longer I could call this place home. Suddenly, my eyes caught Ivy's workout clothes hanging there, reversible gear. If flipped inside out, weren't they the exact color and style the man had worn? My pulse quickened. Could that guy be her regular running partner? I immediately grabbed my phone and scrolled through Ivy's social media. Thankfully, she didn't post often and hadn't set her account to private. I remembered an old group photo of her running crew. After swiping through a few pages, I found it. 5 people, 3 men, 2 women. Ivy and another woman crouched in front while 3 men stood behind. The guy directly behind Ivy matched the build and vibe of the driver I'd seen in the surveillance footage. Not tall but athletic. With that pretty boy face women fawn over these days. The post date showed 18 months ago, before our wedding. If this was the guy, I forced myself to stop spiraling. To gather intel, I swallowed my urge to confront her and played dumb. That night, I even initiated intimacy. Too tired, she claimed. Postponing. I smirked internally. Days later, certain she'd forgotten the cigarette pack incident. I took her shopping. At a sports store, I theatrically tried shoes while loudly asking about bulk discounts for 50 pairs. The eager clerk consulted her manager, offered deals, and exchanged contacts. Ivy naturally overheard. "Why so many shoes?" she asked. "Boss wants marathon-themed team-building crap." Seizing the moment, I added, "We also need a running coach, paid gig, flexible hours. Know anyone?" Her eyes lit up. What about me? I feigned hesitation. Preferably male. You know how the guys are at work. Plus, taking money from my wife feels awkward. She pondered. There are guys in our group. Let me ask. Next day after her run, she approached me about the coaching job. I insisted on meeting candidates first to negotiate better pay. She agreed to introduce me tomorrow. Hook set. Without dangling that payment carrot, knowing her opportunistic streak, she'd never have taken me to meet them. Following her would have backfired. Now, walking to their usual running spot, I spotted Ryan waiting, the exact man from her photo. Meeting him in person confirmed everything. His build, the Marlboro Reds matching my car's ashtray. His workplace being 20 minutes from Ivy's office. Every detail aligned. We exchanged pleasantries. Ryan Thompson, elementary school PE teacher from the West Side. With your credentials, we'll bump up your rate, I said, watching Ivy beam with misplaced pride. During the trial run, Ryan showboated, sprinting intervals, dramatic stretches, while Ivy maintained unnatural distance behind me. Amateurs. If they were truly just friends, why the forced formality after arranging business? At rest breaks, I caught Ryan's gaze sliding over my shoulder toward Ivy. That look, every man recognizes it. The smug predator playing humble victor. The mockery and playful teasing couldn't hide the smugness underneath. I didn't see how Ivy responded, but fury already burned in my chest. Those two snakes. Before I lost control, I excused myself, claiming exhaustion, and left. That man, I'd make sure he learned who the real clown was. As for Ivy, part of me still clung to naive hope. If she retained even a shred of decency, I might spare her some dignity for old-time sake. But the reckoning would come later. Instead of going home, I drove straight to Kevin's place. The trust fund kid turned tech bro lounged in his penthouse, surrounded by gadgets even NASA wouldn't recognize. Ryan? He whistled after scanning the texts. Since when you swing that way, bro? We've been childhood friends. No secrets between us. When I spilled everything, Kevin slammed his whiskey glass down. That pretty boy's begging for broken kneecaps. Let me call the crew. Hold your horses. I gripped his shoulder. I want his entire life dissected before we move. Every secret. Every skeleton. He tossed me a flash drive as I left. My guys reverse engineered this last week. Clones phones in 10 minutes flat. Guess your marital karma's good for something. Ivy was waiting when I returned. Kevin's got this crypto play. I lied smoothly. Might triple our portfolio by Q3. Her eyes lit up at crypto, the same way they'd sparkled for Ryan earlier. My brilliant husband. She pressed glossy lips to my cheek, slinking toward the bathroom with exaggerated hip sway. I feigned paperwork and locked myself in the study. The cloning software worked like black magic. Within minutes, Ivy's entire digital life glowed on my screen. But the WeChat logs with Ryan showed only sterile jogging talk, 20 messages spanning a year. Too clean. No sane affair partner would purge every trace, yet leave this staged trail. Then it hit me, the iPad gathering dust on our shelf. Ivy's old device from her pre-wedding days. Back when she'd lost their previous number. The cracked screen flickered as I tapped it, revealing 2 active Apple IDs. My thumb hovered over the second iCloud login. Behind me, shower steam seeped under the door. Some wounds demand salt, not bandages. I clicked. The Apple ID linked to her previous account used a QQ email address I had never contacted. I immediately checked the QQ account, but the profile hadn't been updated for years. However, a reverse search revealed a bound phone number, the same one Ivy had used before. When I entered it into WeChat's Add Friends search, a profile popped up. My head spun the moment I saw it. The avatar showed 2 clasped hands, mirroring Ryan's Mr. Thompson profile. This one, though, was named M.S. Miller. No wonder Ivy had looked uneasy when I first added Ryan. Those intertwined hands in his profile picture? They were holding my wife's. But the real gut punch came next. Ivy must have assumed I'd never find this account, so she hadn't restricted her last 10 public posts. The first one shattered any remaining hope. A photo of 2 feet, 1 adult, 1 child, peeking from under blankets during my business trip. The caption read, "True warmth is having you here." The background? Our guest bedroom. I nearly vomited. blood roaring in my ears as I fought the urge to storm upstairs and slap her. All those hours I'd slaved to provide, and they'd been stitching me a crown of shame. Scrolling through her other posts confirmed their affair wasn't new. Strangely, the rage crystallized into cold clarity. I'd braced for this, lighting a cigarette in the study. I didn't flinch when Ivy wandered in. "Honey, I thought you quit." "Kevin's project needs careful budgeting." I lied smoothly, just clearing my head. She pouted. "Don't overwork." Watching her leave, I stubbed out the cigarette. If they wanted to play dirty, I'd bury them. The next afternoon, Kevin met me with grim news. "Brace yourself. This affair's older than your marriage." Ryan, it turned out, was Ivy's high school sweetheart. They'd dated through college, even cohabitated post-graduation. Both families nixed the marriage, hers over his dead-end gym job, his over her poor homemaking skills. Enter me, the convenient rebound. Their rekindling? A drunken post-wedding phone call during a company dinner. "Oh, and Ryan once bragged she'd aborted his kid." Kevin added. I felt nothing. "Will your inquiries tip them off?" Played it off as a friend crushing on him. He snorted. "His old classmates say the guy's got a dick for brains." As if on cue, Ryan texted, "Free for a run?" Greedy bastard wanted his cut of Kevin's fake investment. Perfect. "Got any specialists?" I asked Kevin. He grinned, summoning a sharp-faced influencer type, the kind who collected simps like trading cards. We outlined the honey trap. Slow play. Expenses covered. Big payout upon success. Then I texted Ryan. "Boss is out. Runs postponed." His reply? A single. Sulky K. The chessboard was set. Let the pawns dance. But I told him that when the company was making a big promotional push earlier, there was this client CEO who wanted a running coach too. I mentioned I could help connect them. Ryan immediately perked up. "Sounds good, man." So I scheduled the time and place, specifically warning him this CEO was a high-powered woman with exacting standards. He needed to arrive punctually. Ryan got even more enthusiastic. "Thanks, bro. Won't let you down." That evening, Kevin borrowed his BMW 740 to chauffeur T-Lady to the meeting spot where Ryan had arrived early. I stayed away to let Ryan work his charm. Later, Kevin told me T-Lady stepped out of the car, looking stunning and form-fitting athletic, where that turned every head. Yet she remained ice-cold to everyone except Ryan, treating him with unexpected warmth as if genuinely impressed. Ryan's ego probably reached new heights, especially when T-Lady started playfully flirting. By the end, he refused payment when she offered and even scheduled their next session. Compared to Ivy's lackluster efforts, this was next level, though Ryan naturally kept T-Lady's secret from Ivy. I told T-Lady to keep reeling him in slowly while I set the next trap. 2 days later, I mentioned Kevin's investment opportunity to Ivy. $120,000 initial outlay with full ROI in a year and $100,000 profit the second year. She practically glued herself to my arm in excitement. "But here's the problem," I said. "I only scraped together $20,000 for Kevin. We need to figure out the remaining $100,000. Panic flashed across her face. "We can't lose this chance." "What's the plan?" I suggested mortgaging our house for $150,000. Her expression darkened instantly. The house had always been her sore spot, since it's solely in my name as premarital asset. "Relax," I soothed. "We'll take the loan in your name and sign contracts under you. The profits will flow directly to you. How could I run off then?" She pretended to pout. "It's not that, just nervous about mortgaging." I countered. "If anyone should worry, it's me. You could disappear with the money tomorrow." Her laughter turned sultry until I playfully pushed her off. "Serious talk, there's another hitch. We need to clear the remaining $30,000 mortgage first." Her face clouded again. "Where will we get that?" I sighed. "I'm tapped out." "Any ideas?" As she scrutinized me, I played my trump card. "Once the mortgage clears, we'll add your name to the deed. We'll be true partners, sharing risks and rewards." Sunshine returned to her face. "I'll borrow from my parents." Jackpot. Her parents still held the $25,000 dowry I'd paid, which they'd hoarded as her private fund. If I couldn't reclaim it, neither would they. Feigning reluctance, I asked, "Won't they think I'm after their money?" She dismissed my concern. "I'll handle them. It's for our future." I suggested treating them to dinner and paying 10% interest. Her enthusiastic kisses almost knocked me over. Let her enjoy the act while it lasts. Days later, at an upscale restaurant, my father-in-law eyed me suspiciously until his third drink. Tao ran. Is this investment legit? I presented Kevin's portfolio of successful ventures. Dad, this could finally elevate us beyond middle-class drudgery. And adding Ivy's name to the deed shows our commitment. When he hesitated, I pressed, if you're uncomfortable, we'll keep the deed in my name alone. I'll shoulder all risk. Her mother shot him a death glare. Nonsense. Family faces challenges together. The old man relented. Just make sure Ivy handles the funds directly. Casually during dessert, I asked Ivy, remember Ryan from the running program? I connected him with that female CEO recently. Did I mention how well that's going? I noticed Ivy's parents' expressions visibly changed when they heard that name. Ivy seemed somewhat awkward. Muttering no before, I went out to settle the bill. Outside the private dining room, I overheard her mother whispering sharply, Ivy, are you still seeing that Ryan guy? Ivy sounded irritated, though I couldn't tell if it was from her mother's questioning or Ryan's rumored involvement with some attractive businesswoman. Her father chimed in. Ivy, I know you never liked Tanner, but you're married now. What more do you want? Besides, he's making good money now, and we've invested everything into this. You need to be more careful. Fine. Ivy snapped impatiently. I nearly laughed out loud listening outside the door. Since when did they invest everything? Every penny came from me. Yet they acted like martyrs. No matter T's sister already had Ryan wrapped around her finger. The trap was set. Lately during T's sister's rendezvous with Ryan, I'd arranged frequent business calls about real estate transactions. Though the market slumped, lucrative deals still existed for the well-connected. T's sister kept accidentally finding distressed properties foreclosures. Contractor defaults priced 30 to 40% below market value. Her convincing spiels about quick flips for easy $8,000 to $10,000 profits left Ryan dazzled. When T's sister casually let Ryan handle some payment transfers, his eyes bulged seeing six-figure sums moving through her accounts. Within weeks, he begged to join. T's sister warned about risks, but Ryan boasted about his marriage fund savings. Playing the reluctant mentor, she finally took him to an out-of-state sales office. The lavish showroom swarmed with buyers despite the supposed market downturn. In the VIP lounge, T's sister secured 2 units through exclusive connections, paying $60,000 down payments each. Citing purchase limits, she registered one under Ryan's name. The payoff came swift. Ryan's unit sold within days at $68,000. Watching $8,000 profit materialize through his own hands drove Ryan mad. He emptied savings and took loans for another investment. The hook was set. Meanwhile, I told Ivy the Johnson family project needed a month-long delay. Let her keep that $30,000 investment as bait. After faking another business trip, I left hidden cameras rolling. Ryan arrived that same night. Their passionate reunion turned sour when Ivy accused him of cheating, ironic coming from the adulteress. Ryan spun tales about enduring T's sister's advances for their future, even producing fake bank statements. Ivy hesitated until he showed transaction records of T's sister steals. She finally transferred the $30,000. Their celebration captured in HD. From my hotel, I watched the final act unfold. Next day at the sales office, Ryan signed his financial death warrant. Returning home 2 days later, Ivy's excessive cheerfulness betrayed nervous energy. Whether from guilt or anxiety about her loan, I couldn't care less. The cameras kept recording as the real drama began. I broke the news to Ivy that Kevin's project might face further delays. To make it up to her, I suggested we pay off the mortgage first and add her name to the deed to avoid complications. Ivy's expression became priceless. She stammered about not being in a hurry, claiming she'd locked her funds in a 7-day fixed deposit. Then T informed me Ryan had started pressuring her to sell quickly, even at a loss. Just to get a taste of profit. I transferred her $20,000 as final payment, but she refunded it, explaining her $200,000 commission only covered legitimate earnings. She thanked me for the client referral while stringing Ryan along. As the deadline loomed, Ivy kept hounding Ryan, who grew increasingly nervous. He begged T for help, and she lured him to a hotel room under the guise of discussing solutions. Dressed in a revealing tank top, she left him flustered while I anonymously texted the room number to Ivy. Kevin and I watched from the lobby as Ivy stormed in just as Ryan emerged in a towel. The confrontation turned volcanic. Ivy, already insecure next to T's glamour, unleashed her fury. Ryan, resentful of his ruined tryst and comparing Ivy unfavorably to T, escalated the fight. The seasoned T slipped away effortlessly, leaving them to brawl. That night, I visited her parents' home under the pretense of concern. Her poorly concealed bruises and shaky eye, a fell story almost made me crack. I comforted her while casually mentioning the impending $300,000 property transfer, watching her face twist in silent agony. Her father dragged her into a private interrogation while I left to the sound of a resounding slap. For weeks, Ivy's caked makeup couldn't hide her swelling face. When I finally pushed about the bank appointment, she confessed through tears about lending our savings to Ryan. Our confrontation at his school unraveled everything: his bankrupt real estate scheme, the $2 million mortgage, and his threats of mutual destruction. Ivy lunged at him screaming as Ryan blamed my business contact. I reminded him I'd only introduced a running buddy, not forced any deals. His hollow threat to report T crumbled when faced with legally binding contracts. The developer had vanished, leaving Ryan drowning in debt and Ivy clutching empty promises. It said Ryan later actually went to the police, but all his evidence consisted of his own pathetic simping claims. The saleswoman, who handled the property through legitimate channels, never said anything incriminating, and not a single penny from the house payment went through her. As for other issues, he'd have to take that up with the developer who'd already skipped town. When Ryan relived these painful memories, he finally turned his rage toward me. "This is all your fault. You ruined everything. I'm not paying you back. What are you gonna do? Arrest me?" He grew more agitated by the second. Ivy realized she needed to stop him, but it was too late. "Listen here, you smug bastard. I've already screwed your wife. You've been wearing that cuckold crown for ages. There's not a single spot in your house where I haven't banged her. And you know what? I got bored and threw her back to you." His outburst was a godsend, saved me a ton of trouble. I mentally applauded him while keeping my face carefully shocked. Glancing at Ivy, I saw her eyes blazing with fury as she alternated between pleading "don't listen to him" and physically grappling with Ryan. I pretended to storm off. She chased after me, but I slid into my car, slammed the door, and hit the gas, smoothly executed, leaving no trace of my triumph. At Kevin's place, we casually smoked while my phone buzzed relentlessly with messages and calls until the battery died. That evening when I powered it on, the device froze for 2 full minutes under the flood of notifications. I ignored them all. Then Ivy's father called. "Don't believe that liar's nonsense. It's all lies," he insisted. I checked with Ivy's old classmates. I replied, she and Ryan were definitely involved. He fell silent before exploding. "Ivy's threatening suicide. If my daughter dies, I'll make you pay?" I bit back laughter, my last shred of decency. "Old man, are you senile? Ryan stole her money and slept with her. I'm the one who got cheated on. If she kills herself, why blame me? Even the cops wouldn't side with you." After a pause, he tried again. "Everyone makes mistakes. Be the bigger person, forgive her once. We'll make sure she treats you right. Hell, go cheat on her too. I'll tell her it evens the score." I hung up. With parents like that, no wonder their daughter turned out this way. My phone kept ringing through the night before finally quieting. The next morning, Ivy texted, "Let's divorce." "Fine," I responded. She sent a settlement demanding half the house and splitting the $30,000 debt she owed her father, offering me full ownership of the car as compensation. I refused, pushing for litigation. In court, I presented irrefutable evidence of her affair with Ryan. The ruling gave me full ownership of both house and car, while her personal debt to her father remained hers alone. Only then did Ivy realize she'd walked into my trap all along. Her family hurled vicious insults until the judge threatened to jail them for contempt. Outside the courthouse, Kevin and the saleswoman waited. Not that I'd gotten involved with her. She just executed her role so flawlessly that I owed her a thank you dinner. Later, I asked if she feared Ryan's retaliation. She scoffed. That coward wouldn't stab anyone even with a knife in hand. Who knows if Ivy will reunite with Ryan? Trash attracts trash. Though considering Ryan technically bought a $2 million property, maybe that stalled development will eventually resume. I pulled out a cigarette, offering one to Kevin. Since when do you smoke Lucky Strikes? He asked. I smiled. Today's worth commemorating. After this, never again.